All right, friends. Hopefully everybody's enjoying this great full moon energy happening in a couple of hours. I'm recording this right now at 10 o'clock on Wednesday night. So it's happening early on Thursday morning at 12:11, 12:12. So this is our post full moon horoscope. You know, it's all encompassing. You know, it's a little bit about that energy and is what's coming after the full moon tomorrow on the 12th, right? So we've got this stellium in Capricorn. We've got Jupiter up in Capricorn. Jupiter is creating a trine over there to Uranus, the great awakener, the breakthrough kind of energy. We've got this beautiful kind of sandwich happening. Venus is literally stuck in the middle of Saturn and Pluto. Okay, so Saturn's at 19 degrees. From you. Saturn's at 19 degrees, Venus is at 20 degrees, and then Pluto is at 21 degrees, okay? So it's, this strict, stern teacher that wants us to learn these lessons. It wants us to work hard, and whatever it is, it's saying follow through with it, which the ruling sign of Capricorn is Saturn, or the ruling sign of Saturn is Capricorn, so it's like a double dose of that, so Venus is saying, yes, this is what I want, this is what I want to do, follow through with these things. And then the aspect of Pluto that's going to be happening on the 12th to the 13th is like transformation, okay? And with Jupiter also up there in Capricorn, making that trine to Uranus in Taurus is saying break the tradition, expand beyond what we think is possible. If only so much liquid can fit in this 8-ounce cup, it's completely possible to get a larger cup. If a larger cup doesn't exist, we can make a larger cup. And what do we need to do to fit more into our cup? To find a way to make that. And we can. We have all of the ability to make that happen, which is really beautiful energy right now, right? So there's a lot of, release energy, and a lot of new information that's been coming in our way. And it's telling us to break free of the trend, break free to not only create our own drum, but march to the beat of it, create our own trend and realize that other people will kind of, it's not about what other people are doing, it's about what we're doing, our ambitions, ourselves, We've got a lot of Mars energy going on here. Let me show you this before I get into the rest of the horoscope. Mars, okay, creating this sesqui-square to Chiron. And then if you follow the moon here, still early in the day, in the sign of Gemini, moving ahead, right there. Okay, so we have a square tension. Okay, this is about balance. And these two sesqui-squares leading up to Mars. Further, Mars is creating a semi-square over to Jupiter. Okay, so all this day deals with our expansion, Jupiter here. Okay, expansion and release. Expansion and release. And this first part of the day is about feeling these emotions, understanding this knowledge. It's understanding this knowledge that's going to lead by 7 p.m.-ish into feeling. The moon comes home to Cancer. Okay, and it's solidifying that square and the sesqui-square. Look how nice that is, how beautiful. Okay, so this is about tension and release, and Mars here leading the way through the shadow sign of Scorpio. Okay, connecting here almost perfectly with Neptune. So this tension that we're feeling, this shadow work that we're dealing with certainly leads to our personal expansion. Our personal expansion on one end, upstairs, of dealing with our own knowledge of our own minds and our own imagination manifests into the physical. Again, we have to think, we have to conceptualize the idea that we need more in the cup. It's just looking at the cup and saying, well, this is all that can fit in it. That's it. Period. End of the story. Done. That's not where we're at. So we first have to come with the idea that, hey, there's more should be in that cup. More of whatever it is that I am putting into this world, right? More goes into this. And first is the idea. First is the thought, the initiation, the spark. And dreaming of something more, something bigger than what actually is available, and then bringing that into creation mode. Okay. So we've been dealing a lot with release. Now the funny thing is paradoxical. When we're dealing with, when we're always thinking about release, when we're always thinking about letting go, our focus is shifting on letting go, but then it's, the more of we think we need to let go of something, it becomes a loop, a feedback loop. So it's just like, well, I need to let go of this. I need to work through some shadow. I need to do this. I need to, I need to seek this higher knowledge. I need to do this. And it's almost coming into a place of stillness up on a mountaintop. Okay. This is our sun in Sagittarius, the moon moving from the information center of Gemini, of all the information, into feeling, feeling it, embodying it, bringing it here, where thought leads to the feels. And then the feels lead to, let me come back here, those feels lead to creation. Okay? So when we're constantly thinking about changing, I need to change this about myself. I need to do this. We're going to get stuck in that feedback loop of we're never going to be enough. That we're always going to need to work through something. That I'm never, I'll start my YouTube channel when. I'll start teaching when this happens. I'll start leading when this happens. Or I'll start this next chapter of my life when this happens. Or when I gain this knowledge, or when I gain this information. And sometimes it's absolutely true and necessary. And then sometimes the universe just puts us on the path, So it's like, when is it time to act? When is it time to observe? When is it time to release? When is it time to let go? When is it time to absorb more? When is it time to take the leap of faith, to observe from the higher point, And coming back to like dealing with all of these, the stuff that's happening earlier in the day before we get to this point, it's still about information coming in our way. And it's how do others perceive us sometimes, and if we're always focused on, how does this person perceive me? This interaction might have happened and then it left you with this concept of who I am. Does that make it necessarily so? No. It's about me being authentic to myself and me, as much as we can be, compassionate and empathetic towards others. The North Node down here, and the moon's going to meet up with it on Friday, early Friday morning. As much as we want to be compassionate and empathetic toward others, not everyone always perceives us for our authentic nature or has some other, intentions in mind or something like that. So as we have so much energy up here in Capricorn, in the 10th house of our own public image, and we want so badly for others to see us for, the bright shining stars that we are, they might not always get that perspective of us. They might have a tainted view based on one thing or another, or, whatever it is. And it's not necessarily our job to try to change that perspective. Can we just deal with it? Can we just kind of ignore it and move on our own path? Take that high road. This energy is kind of saying that. And on the reverse side, it's saying, well, if this is a general consensus, if people generally think, you are stubborn to work with, or if you're angry or quickly triggered or whatever it may be, and you're like, well, I don't feel that way about myself. But then if other people are, there's a balance. Again, this is, one, marching to the beat of your own drum, yes. Being authentically you, yes. Because sometimes this stubborn thing is like, no, this is how I've got to do it. It's like one of the worst things you can do is tell your great, brilliant ideas to small-minded individuals, because they're not going to see this big vision, and they're going to tell you that it's dumb. Okay, so on one end, it's extremely important for that like structured stubbornness, and then on the other end, well, what if these aren't small-minded individuals? What if these are your peers, your friends, your family? And it is a general consensus saying that there's, this information is coming up, information coming to light that's saying, well, am I doing this? Do I need to shift? Do I need to soften? All this Capricorn energy is being opposed by some water energy, and it's just like the Grand Canyon was formed, these big solid mountains, and the emotion, the water that flows, okay, that's slowly trickling through, bead by bead until it's a flowing river, is going to smooth out those hard edges. Okay, we soften with this water energy. All right. So sometimes we can be very stuck, very stubborn in our ways. And then sometimes that outside perspective, again, is that water flowing or allowing it to flow, or saying, maybe I do need to soften here. Maybe I need to harden over here. Maybe I'm perfect just the way I am. With this, again, with the full moon energy leading in the first part of our day, it's something to consider. We have to look at all the options, and we also have to look at, are we being pulled into something that we don't believe in? It's like, this is an odd thing that's popping in my head right now. And like, what is it, 1946, somewhere around there, 1940s, was in the Great Depression. De Beers, the diamond company, diamonds are forever. They created a campaign which pried on people, okay? And diamond rings were not like the big thing a long time ago. They just weren't. They became a staple due to trends and okay, so it was just like diamonds are forever, and their whole slogan and everything. When they asked women, look, you can look this up. When they asked women, what would you rather have? Do you really want a diamond ring for your wedding? And it's just like, well, this is a very expensive thing, the scarcity of perfect diamonds and all this. And we all know it's BS. And a lot of ladies were like, no, I'd rather have something more useful, a washer or a dryer for the clothes, or a household appliance, or a second car, something that's more useful than just a ring on the finger, or the diamond. The band was always been there, but the diamond is a little different. So De Beers created this campaign, and it's just like, oh, well, Dave bought Mary a big, beautiful diamond, so maybe Dave loves Mary more than you love me, and then it became a competition between our peers, our community, right? So what drove this was not authentic. What drove that whole big diamond craze, it wasn't natural. It was an ad campaign for that particular company to create more money. So that's part of this like full moon that we're experiencing right now. It's just like, are we being misled by the information that's out there, that we're just following this, Or are we the salmon that's swimming, upstream where everybody else is swimming downstream? So it's like, how do we view this? What is most important in my life? And again, we've been dealing with so much letting go, that at this point now, we've done a lot of the shadow work. We've done a lot of this, and now it's time to move forward. Move forward gracefully, put one foot in front of another, and again, making those decisions and saying, yes, this is who I want to be, this is what I am. And can we forget everything else? If it's just like, well, this is the industry I want to work in, but it's cutthroat and it's difficult, and there's this, or I love, this business, but there's this, and my boss this, and some of my coworkers this, and it's just like, can we forget all of that information and just focus on what the heart needs and feels? Right? Because that's where our day is moving toward. So it's like, we get all the information in, and we have to look at everything. We can't leave anything out. We have to look at the fact that we're both this, the saint and the villain at the same time, or we have played both of these roles in other people's eyes, in our own story, right? We have played both of these. We have been the unique individual that's creating our own path as we have followed the trend. We have been both of these. But where do we want to go next? Where are we going forward? Because we're out of this cycle. We're ending this feedback loop of, I'm not going to be good enough here until I do this. I'm not going to be able to start this project until I do this. This is manifestation time, taking our dreams, taking our imagination, and bringing it into this physical life, this physical reality. So first we deal with all of the information. We got to lay it out in front of us, and then we travel from our minds down to our hearts, and we got to feel it. You know, we got to let that brain kind of get out of the way and come into our heart center. And that's what's going to win the day. So coming back to the chart for just another moment here, you know, we have this, again, the moon opposing Jupiter. Jupiter connecting with Uranus. So this is a big, you know, again, this public image stuff over here, this Capricorn energy, and it's breaking free of tradition. And you see that sextile here between Uranus and the moon. Okay? So it's like the heart is winning right now. Whatever the heart needs, the moon, emotional moon, is what we need, right? And Venus is up here saying, I can do anything. Whatever it is, I've got the two baddest boys in the zodiac here to help me out with whatever it is that I need. Whatever I need to create, we can create a bigger cup. We can create a bigger, you know, a bigger pocketbook if that's what we need. We can create a bigger studio, a bigger, more, you know, or transforming the idea of, hey, limited resources. You know, I thought I needed all of these things. I thought I needed, you know, more education. I thought I needed all of this. But really, I've got all the tools that I actually need to make these first steps. And it's only been in my head that I've been holding myself back. Powerful stuff. So this is a really beautiful day. Again, taking all the information in. How do we feel about it? Observing it. Considering that, again, we're both the hero and the villain. That we've played both of these roles. That our dream job might be, you know, clouded in all of these things, or this dream relationship might be, you know, clouded in all of these things. And it's kind of, you know, like we talked about coming into this full moon, you know, that tube of light, and it's dusting it. You know, it's cleaning our tube off as to let our light shine, to be truly who we are, authentically. You know, forgetting the rest of the world, forgetting that, you know, the bigger the diamond, the more that you're loved. You know, the more feedback you get, the more that you're loved. The more Facebook likes you get, the more that you're loved. The more hearts you get on Instagram is the more that you're loved and appreciated. You know, it's just like, this is not true. Just keep being, keep doing. One foot in front of another. That's how we win this day. So I hope everybody's having a fantastic full moon. This is great energy. Again, moving from this clearing into action. It's going to be a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.